Welcome to the DevOps.js Conference, and thank you for attending my talk. Troubleshooting your serverless node doesn't have to be a pain. My name is Jeff Hoffer, and I'm the technical leader for growth at Rollbar, starting with Rollbar last September. You can find me on GitHub as Udimos. For those familiar with the Los Angeles, California area, and people who live here know, I'm a pretty rare person who was actually born and raised in LA, Santa Monica to be specific, and still live in LA in a different part of the city. So I have a problem. I like to include some flair when I give a looks good to me on a PR. And unfortunately, my go-to site for these specific GIFs, lgtm.io, shut down a couple of years ago. I have another problem. I'm lazy. It's not just that I don't want to search for a good LGTM GIF for PR in GitHub. I also need to respond in Slack to the teammate who asked for my review, and I want to do it all at the same time. So I came up with a solution, a Slack bot called LGTM Reply GIF, that combines one of my favorite GIF sites, replygif.net, with a Slack / command to post on my behalf. I built it in Node.js and deployed it to AWS Lambda, where it will call the Reply GIF API, select a GIF at random, post a comment to the GitHub PR, and respond back to the Slack channel with a message to our requester. So it sounds pretty great, right? So what went wrong? Let's troubleshoot that together, shall we? The first thing to remember about Lambda functions is that is exactly what they are. They are just functions. I'm importing some things. I'm doing some stuff in the body here, the logic related to my function, and then I'm returning a response. But in the end, it's a handler that is a function. It receives an event and optionally a context. So I can import it into my tests. I can include it, I can require it in the node REPL, or I can run the local stack and write some curl commands against it. So let's do that first. So I'm running a local stack on the left side, and on the right, we're calling our curl command. We notice we get a 500 error, and then we are not returning any response. So it turns out that the 500s come from the reply GIF API, which doesn't actually work, isn't being maintained, and returns a 500 error on any request to any of the endpoints. So knowing that the reply GIF API doesn't work, but I saw the website does, I switched to scraping the page with a node package called Cheerio that gives us a jQuery API to grab the image URLs. So we've tested locally and things seem to be working fine. We publish the code to AWS using our deploy command and then test our Slack bot. So let's give that a shot. My friend Demo Slack sent me a request through Slack to review his PR. So I'm going to say I gave it a review. Say LGTM, I get my prompts to tell me how to write the command. So identify the repo, identify the PR, give them a little shout out. And we get a dispatch failed error, which is a default error from Slack when it doesn't know what to say. So let's take a look at how we troubleshoot this in the cloud using CloudWatch. From the AWS web console, we come to the Lambda area, we find our function, and we take a look at this monitor tab here. Now it's going to give us a list of recent invocations, and it's going to tell us what log stream they're in. So these recent invocations are interesting, but they're not really giving us troubleshooting information. So we're going to go check out our CloudWatch logs directly. Now loading here, loading in the streams. Our most recent is at the top. We're going to take a look there. And we see our one invocation is happening in this stream. And we see this error message here. N is not a function. So that's good. We found the error. Let's take a look at the stack trace. It's from our index file. It's line 2, column 570,000. Okay, so in order to troubleshoot this, we're going to need some source maps. So let's go ahead and enable those and redeploy. And while that happens, let's poke around CloudWatch a little more, get to know it better. So one thing we could do is take a look at view as text, which expands all of these items. So we see a long running history. Now, it is possible when you are troubleshooting log events in CloudWatch from Lambdas that they are interleaved when you have multiple invocations happening at the same time. So what becomes useful for you is to take this request ID here. You see it shows up on all of the logs, and put that in the search. So let's go back and search all of our streams. And make sure to quote it because the hyphens will work as negators for search terms if you don't. So now we see same view where we have everything is related to just our one invocation. Let's take a look at our deployment. It's done. So let's give it another shot to our Slack bot. Okay. Now let's see. Let's go find a log that can give us the information we need. Hopefully this is the most recent. Yeah, we see here, fetch line 69, column 3. So now our source maps are working. So we can go take a look at the code here, and it's saying that this $sign is not a function. And that's because I should have called Cheerio.load instead of just Cheerio as a function. So we fix that, we redeploy, and we're going to give it another shot. Still getting a dispatch failed. So what's going wrong here? We are scraping the reply gift page for images, but now let's take a look at troubleshooting in aggregated logs. Since going through each log individually is not terribly efficient, there are some filtering capabilities we saw. But if you're used to log aggregation tools like Elasticsearch and already have your other apps hooked up to it, you'll want to use that for your Lambda log aggregation as well. So the difference is that in your apps running on a server, you manage, or within a container, you have some process that is either reading a log file that you're writing to, or it's reading from standard out and it's shipping that off to Elasticsearch. In the serverless environment, you don't have any long-running processes to do this for you because our serverless functions are ephemeral by design. So we need to ship our CloudWatch logs that we already get instrumented for us by AWS to our Elasticsearch cluster. One way to do this, if you're already using Elasticsearch as a service in AWS, is to go to your log grouping, select the log group that you're interested in, and create a subscription filter to Elasticsearch. Here you select which cluster you want it to go to. You can choose a log format. We're using Lambda in this case, but you could just as easily whatever you're logging in, and you can parse it. So we'll just go with Lambda. It gives us this built-in filter pattern. Have to give it a name. And you can test it against your existing log data. So we'll go ahead and test the pattern. Yes, we see these coming through. So you start streaming. I've already enabled that. And what ends up getting created for you is another Lambda function that actually reads from your CloudWatch logs and is the one shipping it over to Elasticsearch. So we'll take a look here. And the nice thing about having Elasticsearch as opposed to just CloudWatch is we got these nice columns we can add and help us hone in on what's going on. So we'll take a look here. Let's see. All right, so we have a bad credentials error showing up from our last request. And we can take a look, and we have the nice properties available to us that you expect in Elasticsearch. So it's taking all these for you. And we see the token. You can't see what the token is, but I noticed that's right. When we develop locally, we're using a .env file. Just like with Heroku, we need to add that because we don't want to include those credentials in the repo. So we got to make sure we have the environment variables there. All right. Now let's give it another shot. Hey, and it worked. All right. So now we have our Slack message, which is saying, calling out our friend Demo Slack, saying that we posted a reply to their PR on behalf of me. And it's a looks good to me. And if I click this link, this will take me to my issue comment, my comment in the PR that lets them know. So we've got the posted comment to the GitHub PR. We respond back to Slack with the message in the channel. Now we put our Slack bot into the wild, and how do we know if it's performing? We could monitor the logs on a regular basis and hope we catch errors in a timely fashion, and we're able to do something about it. Let's say someone else gets an error when using the Slack bot, and because we're not the one typing the command, we can't see the error or even that there was an error. So let's give it another try here. Oh, yeah. So that dispatch failed. And we noticed the PR number's wrong. So what's going on? Let's take a look at another option for troubleshooting, and that's the continuous code improvement platform from Rollbar. So if we go to Rollbar, we've already instrumented the app. We see this error come up. It's the most recent. And we notice it's HTTP error not found. Now, if I try this again, because I'm stubborn, and one more time, We notice that our total's gone up to 5. But if we were to look at Elasticsearch, we would see just a bunch of these show up here. Just keeps pounding it. So this shows up nicely as a single line item for us. We can drill into it. And because we are able to connect with GitHub, we actually have source code in here, and we've got our source maps uploaded. Now we see not found. We get a response when we make the GitHub call to issues 88. Well, that doesn't exist. That's the wrong PR, but we're not handling it properly. So we'll go ahead and fix that code. And before we do, we're going to resolve this. Now we go back. Try it again. Still failed. Oop. So now this time we're going to check the PR first, make sure it's there. And if it's not, we tell the person back that it does not exist or the bot has no access. Now if we do a PR that does exist, it works. So in our new solution, we fetch the PR from GitHub. We provide a friendly Slack response that's only visible to the caller. And we also get the author and make sure to call them out in our comment. So they get an alert from GitHub and Slack. So they can't run away from our LGTM. Oop. So if you want to learn more about Rollbar's continuous code improvement platform, make sure to check out David's workshop with a deep dive and tutorial that will have you set up and running it on your own. You can find the source code for the LGTM reply give Slack bot on GitHub here. And thank you very much for attending. If you sign up for a new account on Rollbar, please use this URL with the GitNation promo code so that you can get a free full month beyond the normal trial period.